This is Qatar, and this is Dubai. From the outside, they can look surprisingly similar. Both are filled with futuristic skylines, luxury districts, giant airports, massive highways, artificial islands, and huge construction projects rising directly from the desert. Both transform themselves from relatively small Gulf economies into globally recognized centers of wealth, infrastructure, and modern urban development within just a few decades. But once you look deeper, the differences become enormous. Dubai was built to become one of the world's busiest global cities. Qatar was built to become one of the world's most strategically positioned states. Dubai feels fast, vertical, energetic, and constantly in motion. The city became globally famous by turning itself into a center for tourism, business, finance, aviation, luxury real estate, logistics, technology, and entertainment all at the same time. Almost everything about Dubai is designed around visibility, expansion, and global attention. And the scale is difficult to ignore. Millions of tourists move through the city every year. New skyscrapers continue appearing across the skyline. Massive highways cut through endless urban districts illuminated late into the night. Construction cranes dominate entire sections of the city, while new luxury developments, office towers, ports, AI projects, and business centers continue expanding in almost every direction. Dubai almost feels like a real-world simulation of hyper-globalization. The city moves extremely fast, faster than most places on Earth. And that speed became the foundation of Dubai's success. It turned itself into a place where global capital, international business, tourism, logistics, finance, and aviation all intersect simultaneously. Today, Dubai is one of the most internationally connected urban centers in the world. At night, the scale becomes even more surreal. From the air, endless highways glow across the desert while giant clusters of skyscrapers rise out of the darkness like separate futuristic islands connected by infrastructure. Ports remain active late into the night. Airports operate almost non-stop. New districts continue expanding outward into areas that only recently were empty desert. In many ways, Dubai feels less like a normal city and more like a permanent global transit machine. Qatar took a very different path. Instead of focusing primarily on becoming the region's largest tourism and commercial hub, Qatar concentrated on building strategic influence. While Dubai expanded outward into a giant global city, Qatar focused on energy, infrastructure, aviation, finance, diplomacy, technology, and long-term geopolitical positioning. That is why Qatar often feels like the anti-Dubai. Not because it competes directly against Dubai, but because it operates according to almost the opposite philosophy. Dubai grows outward through scale and movement. Qatar grows through concentration and control. The atmosphere reflects that difference immediately. Dubai feels dense, highly international, commercialized, and constantly active. Doha feels calmer, cleaner, more centralized, and more controlled. The infrastructure looks just as futuristic, but the country feels less focused on spectacle and more focused on systems operating quietly in the background. And that is exactly what makes Qatar so fascinating. Much of Qatar's power is not immediately visible. The foundation of the country's power comes from energy. Qatar sits on some of the largest natural gas reserves on Earth, and over time it transformed that advantage into one of the most important energy economies in the world. Massive LNG exports connected Qatar directly to Europe, Asia, and global energy markets at an enormous scale. But unlike many resource-rich economies, Qatar did not simply stop at exporting fuel. Over time, the country converted energy wealth into long-term international influence. Qatar Airways turned Doha into one of the world's biggest aviation hubs, connecting Europe, Asia, and Africa simultaneously. Hamad International Airport became one of the most advanced airports on Earth. Al Jazeera gave Qatar global media reach far beyond what most countries of its size normally possesses. The Qatar Investment Authority quietly invested billions into real estate, infrastructure, finance, sports, technology companies, and major assets across Europe, America, and Asia. Gradually, Qatar positioned itself inside some of the world's most important global systems. And because the country is physically small, almost everything feels centralized and coordinated in a way that is difficult to achieve in larger nations. Infrastructure networks connect seamlessly. Highways feel engineered for long-term expansion. Ports, airports, industrial districts, and logistics systems operate as part of one highly integrated national structure. That creates a very unusual feeling. Doha does not feel chaotic or endlessly sprawling in the same way many giant global cities do. Instead, the city often feels calculated, almost like a prototype for a future energy state economy where infrastructure, transportation, logistics, and finance are designed together from the beginning. Then came the World Cup. For many countries, hosting the FIFA World Cup is mostly about tourism and entertainment. For Qatar, it became something much larger, a demonstration of infrastructure, organization, and national scale. Entire metro systems, highways, logistics corridors, ports, districts, and stadiums appeared within an incredibly short period of time. From the air, Doha suddenly looked like a futuristic megaproject emerging directly from the desert. The transformation surprised much of the world. But even after all of that expansion, Qatar still did not become another Dubai. And that may be the most interesting part. The country still feels selective, centralized, and highly strategic. Instead of building itself entirely around non-stop tourism, nightlife, and global entertainment, Qatar increasingly looks like a state positioning itself at the center of energy, aviation, logistics, finance, and AI infrastructure and geopolitical systems that are becoming more valuable every year. That creates a completely different atmosphere. Dubai often feels like one of the world's ultimate commercial cities, massive, energetic, crowded, globally visible, and constantly accelerating. Qatar feels more like a highly engineered state designed around stability, infrastructure, and long-term positioning. Even physically, the country feels different. Roads are wider and less congested. Districts feel more planned. Infrastructure appears newer and more centralized. The scale of development feels deliberate rather than chaotic. Doha does not try to overwhelm you with size in the same way Dubai often does. Instead, the city gives the impression of precision. And in the modern world, that model may become increasingly important. As AI infrastructure, global energy demand, aviation networks, logistics systems, and geopolitical competition continue expanding, Qatar already sits at the center of many of those systems simultaneously. The country has enormous financial reserves, advanced infrastructure, global investments, and one of the highest GDP per capita levels in the world. Meanwhile, Dubai continues evolving into one of the planet's largest urban commercial megaprojects, and together, they represent two completely different visions of the modern Middle East. One built itself around global visibility, the other built itself around strategic importance.